All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and me. All right, I shouldn't be so happy because it's a sad day if you're a fan of the Atlanta rhythm section. I am a huge fan. In fact, I've got some albums over here. This is Eufaula. There's an album you probably haven't heard by ARS before. Late 90s, absolutely amazing album. I've got this 2-in-1 CD that I bought not too long ago. Features Dog Days and Red Tape together, remastered and sounding amazing. Anyway, keyboard player Dean Daughtry has passed away at age 76. Really a great keyboard player and started off, I believe, backing up Roy Orbison in the Candymen, also playing in the Classics 4. If you're a rock historian, you know that the Classics 4, the essence of that band, kind of eventually transferred into the Atlanta rhythm section. ARS started out with the singer that they actually have in the band now, which is kind of weird, but it didn't catch on. 2-3 albums in, they finally got this singer by the name of Ronnie Hammond, who I believe was like in the studio, like helping out in the studio, and then eventually they heard him sing. And Ronnie Van Zant of Lynyrd Skynyrd said that Ronnie Hammond was the perfect rock and roll singer. And people kind of reduce ARS to one song, So Into You. It's the one that you might still hear on the radio. You won't hear I'm Not Gonna Let It Bother You Tonight, which is the perfect song for the year 2023. Perfect song. You don't hear it. Imaginary Lover, Gone. Alien, which again, I think would work pretty well in the year 2023. Do It or Die. I mean, there are a pretty long list of radio-friendly songs that ARS had during the 70s into the early 80s. I've even got obscure Atlanta rhythm section. That's how much I like this band. Truth in a Structured Form. The keyboard playing of Daughtry was really important to the sound of ARS. A lot of these songs had a keyboard-oriented intro, and it was very distinctive. The So Into You intro obviously was very important to the success of that song, but then you heard it as kind of a signature part of other ARS music, plus the solos, the keyboard solos, which were fantastic. Again, you can't do ARS with any other singer but Ronnie Hammond, unless you can find someone who sounds like him. I mean, I've even got a book on this band. You're thinking, there's a book about the Atlanta rhythm section? There it is. And you get the history of the band. You get a lot of the turmoil and the struggle. But Dean Daughtry was a co-founding member of this band, and he was really important to it. I know he left the road a couple of years ago. He had some health problems. So I don't think anything too nefarious is going on here. Although, again, 76. Look, it's the rock and roll lifestyle, the road dog. They called him the Ox. That was his nickname. It's tough. It's tough on a lot of these musicians. The thing about, the whole rock and roll lifestyle, it's really not conducive to a long, healthy life. No one's going to tell you that, though. They're going to tell you to drink and party hard and have a good time, and that's what a lot of these guys did. They probably, cooled it a little bit in their later years because they had to, because they couldn't function anymore doing that stuff. But in the case of Daughtry, just a great musician, a pioneer, really, in a very specific sound. A lot of people compared ARS to Steely Dan, believe it or not. They were kind of like the Southern rock Steely Dan because they were so meticulous in the studio and their records sounded so pristine Again, even though they had a certain degree of Southern rock swagger to them, there was a contemporary side to it, which I think made ARS like a double threat, you know, and then you had the history of the Classics 4 behind it too. That's why you got their version of Spooky, which I guess you'll hear at Halloween, you know, and I like their version of Spooky. I actually like both versions of Spooky. It's hard to really pick my favorite one there, but Dean Daughtry, a great keyboard player, dead at age 76. Our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to his family, his friends, and all the fans that haven't forgotten about the music of Atlanta Rhythm Section. I know they're still out there touring. I'll be honest with you, not to just dump on this, they're just nothing like the band you were listening to in the late 70s and into the early 80s. It's just a completely different thing. But hey, you know, if you want to go see the band for nostalgic purposes, you do get the original singer from the early 70s. But other than that, I don't think there are any other members that can connect you back to that era. For me, when Ronnie Hammond passed away, that was the end of ARS. So anyway, that's one man's humble opinion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, I will see you very soon.